Do you know what I did the other day?
What did you do, Lindsay?
Do you know that one cabinet above your fridge where you kind of don't put anything but also put some stuff?
And then forget it's there?
I opened it up and I cleaned it out because it was the first day of spring and I had to do something spring cleany-y. So I took everything out of the cabinet and I cleaned it up and I felt real good about myself.
Well, how about your trailer? Have you got your trailer ready? Because that's what we're talking about today, is just the very basics of things that you need to do before you pack up your trailer and hit the road. And it's time. Yeah, it's spring. So
yesterday was the cabinet. Who knows what tomorrow will be? Probably the trailer.
Okay.
The cabinet's in the trailer.
Yeah, I bet we have all forgotten what's in the cabinets in our trailer. So today we have Matt joining us just to cover a few of the basics of just spring maintenance and getting it ready to go. So welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers and truck campers and the people, places, and adventures that go right along with them. Clint is not with us, but we are your hosts from Princess Craft RV. I'm PJ.
I'm Matt.
And I'm not going to cuss for this entire podcast.
Oh, Lindsay, what's the fun of that?
Well, Clint's going to have some fun not editing. Yay!
All right.
You're welcome, Clint.
Well, I challenge everybody listening to do a little bit of spring maintenance. We're not talking about the hard stuff. And do it without cussing, just like Lindsay.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
All right. So, I don't know, you start to hear the birds chirping and the flowers coming out. So everybody starts thinking about camping. But your trailer needs some love after it sits there for a few months. So what's the first thing on the list? What do you do first?
Clean it up.
Yeah.
Duh.
Kind of like Lindsay's cabinet above her refrigerator, right?
And my potty mouth.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Yeah, just clean it up,
A
guys.
little bit of wash. That's all you got to do.
We get a lot of questions, and I always think it's such an odd question, only because I've been doing this so long, that they say, what do I wash my camper with? And
I mean,
Soap.
yeah.
but I think it can be scary because it's
Yeah.
like, is it aluminum? Is it fiberglass? What do you do on the windows? And it can be scary if you spend X amount of money on this thing and then you just, wash it with the wrong thing.
I think there used to be a lot of things on the market that maybe weren't so great to wash your car or your RV with. But nowadays, almost any car wash that I see says it's good for cars or boats or RVs. Mm-hmm. And it has a UV protectant in it.
Correct. There's a lot of them that will have like more ceramic coating kind of technology too. But generally, as long as you're sticking with something that, like you said, whatever the material is made out of, if it's a metal sided or fiberglass, that's kind of the biggest thing you just want to pay attention to. But
just read the back of it and make sure it says it's okay for whatever you're washing.
Correct.
Okay.
And then with the acrylic windows, that's just one thing that we've found out the hard way here, that if you're trying to run a brush across them, that they're going to scratch. So you don't have to go too crazy on cleaning those. Just microfiber towel, soap and water gets those cleaned pretty good.
And you know what I learned? I learned that microfiber towel needs to be clean.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
And a decent one too, not just some cheap one that you bought on Amazon.
Oh man, now you're making it hard.
And be careful with the tag. The tag will scratch too.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and to use a microfiber towel, I usually have to put a glove on because it feels all weird and bad.
Feels like felt.
Yeah.
Felt bothers
so
you too.
you got a glove, clean microfiber towel. But honestly, it's easy. So easy.
Sounds so easy. So simple.
I'm just get a ShamWow. That'll work.
Wow.
I don't know
Right?
if
They
you can
still
say
make
that
those?
anymore.
Oh, you can't?
I don't know.
Was ShamWow canceled?
Probably. Look that one up.
Have we banned them from the RV shows?
Look up the story of the show.
No, I will not.
No, I don't want to know.
That'll be on the next podcast.
Caitlin, look it
gosh.
up for me, please.
So the big thing with washing it is it's going to give you kind of a baseline of like a walk around of your RV. So you're going to be able to see anything that could have potentially become an issue. So you're spending time cleaning it, just like cleaning a car. You're going to see all the things, whether you have gaps in your sealants, whether you have...
I didn't know that scratch was there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really? Somebody dented my door,
Yep.
backed into my car.
100%.
That actually
was
happened
me.
to me last week.
It was
Yeah.
me. Sorry.
Okay, well,
It happens.
So wash your RV, see if anybody backed into it while it was in storage.
Yep.
But more than that, you are talking about the gaps in the sealant, which is really important to check when you get it out of the gate, which is why you wash it.
Correct.
You can't see it if you don't wash it.
Correct. And you'll be able to find, as you're going through it, if you just pay attention and kind of look at all the windows, anything that's mounted or installed on the side of the camper, the roof of the RV, you'll be able to see anything that, it just wouldn't look right. So if it doesn't look right, touch it up. There's different types of sealants, but you can kind of familiarize yourself with that once that time comes, whether it's on the side or on the roof. Just kind of depends, but at least that way you're getting a full walk around once over of the RV. Then you can kind of pinpoint other items that may need more attention.
So if you're a rookie, how do you tell if there's any gaps in the sealant? What do you look for?
A gap in specifically the sealant.
Aren't you so glad
answer.
we invited her?
Good answer.
One day you're going to learn.
Not today.
Not today.
Well,
Yeah, but
yeah.
what does a gap in the sealant look like?
the easiest way to describe it is like if you look at it when dirt dries up and you see the cracks in the dirt, that's going to look very similar in the sealant. You'll just see literally a void. It'll look like a
gap?
little split, like a crack
Like a gap.
and a gap.
In the sealant?
Sealant.
Sometimes it looks like a bubble too.
It can.
It's like
yeah.
if there's been a bubble in it and it pops, then it sits in there and then it all of a sudden goes all the way through. I mean, anything that looks deteriorated,
Yeah,
curled
I mean,
up on the edges.
If it doesn't look solid
solid.
and beautiful,
Correct.
And beautiful, I mean real goopy.
Mm-hmm.
Real
the more
goopy
the
everywhere.
better. Oh, yeah.
Like somebody
Bring it
just
on.
went pfft all over the top. That's what it's supposed to look like. Some people say, we get that question though.
Mm-hmm.
People say,
yeah.
this
Why is it
looks
so messy?
This looks so messy. Is
Yeah.
it supposed to look like that?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
That will keep the water out.
That's right.
Can you give me a thumbnail sketch on what sealant you should use where, but I always preface this with check with your local dealer
Correct.
because you don't want to get it wrong.
Correct. So generally on the roof, they're going to use like a lap sealant, self-leveling type sealant. There are specific ones and there's universal ones out there that will cover whether it's an aluminum roof, EPDM, TPO, but that's all things that kind of go on a longer tangent. Anything that's on the side of the RV, whether it's windows, doors, light fixtures, anything like that is typically going to be silicone, like 100% silicone sealant. And then you can, different colors, clear is kind of the most common. If there's something on there, you'll just kind of have to match the color that it is. Some manufacturers use white, some use black. Black is really messy and tricky to work with, but it holds up really well. Clear is typically one that we see a lot of voids and cracks form because it's when it goes on clear. So it's kind of hard to get the exact, where did it go after you
Yeah.
sealed
What
it.
did I miss?
Exactly. So there are some out there, like metal sided trailers will use a clear, but it's on so thick that it looks white because it's so thick to get in between the grooves of the metal. That if you put white on it, now the white stands out like a sheet of paper against your teeth and looks really weird. So
Okay. Well, I think we could do an entire podcast on sealants.
Oh God, no.
So
Lindsay would
Yeah.
love that.
please stop. I just wanted to ask, like, I know it's not common maybe, but like, does it exist in the world? Like, could I get purple sealant?
You could get whatever you want.
Like they make it.
No.
Oh.
okay.
Next question. What do you?
They make paintable sealant.
They do.
You can put on some caulking or sealant and paint it.
No way.
I see that all the time for windowsills.
No.
Yeah. You could.
What about the AC? Let's talk about
Let's
the next
move
step.
on.
Moving on. Oh, my turn?
Your AC.
That's me?
Your AC. Okay.
Oh, my
You
brother
just-
is AC. I'm MC.
You
Oh,
just.
jeez.
How many times a day do you say that joke?
That was the first time that I think
Today?
I've ever said that.
Oh, really?
So day one.
He just thought it up. It just popped into his head.
Oh,
Matt, you're a funny guy.
I'll ask you again tomorrow.
Funny guy.
ACs, most people say, yeah, just clean the filter. I cannot tell you how many trade-ins we get that have never cleaned the AC filter. It's disgusting,
Yes.
especially here in Texas where that AC is just, an important part of your adventure.
It's working hard.
And it's working hard. So you can clean the filter, but most people forget the coils on top. So what else do you need to do besides clean or replace the filters that are right next to the ceiling?
So when you take the filters out, there's a coil cleaner that you can get. It's just like an aerosol foaming cleaner. The little metal fins that you see in the AC unit itself, the one inside and the one up on the roof, just spray those down, let it kind of soak in and do its job. And then when you're done, you can rinse it off, hose it off if it's really dirty. If it's just kind of a maintenance thing, like a preventative thing, it will kind of clean itself off pretty quick and be able to just rinse off, and then we'll let it dry before we start running the air conditioners. The big thing, because if you don't, then all that stuff that's on there could potentially freeze or cause other damage. So just let it dry, let it kind of set for a little bit before you run the air conditioner again.
Cool.
So how long does it take to do that?
to dry?
How long do you have to let it set? Like 10
Depending
minutes?
on how hot it is outside, if it's in direct sun, you could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour.
Till it dries.
Correct.
But when you spray on the cleaner, do you let it sit just a few minutes?
Let it sit for about 5 minutes, let it do its thing. And then what we'll do in the shop typically is after it's sat for a little while, we'll turn the fan on, but not the compressor, not the cool side of the AC, to kind of help it blow that out and kind of push it through the system.
So this is a 20 to 30 minute project at best.
At best, yeah.
Okay, just want to be sure we're not talking about a half a day to pull everything apart and clean it and scrub it, get your toothbrush out. Okay, so I encourage everybody to do that. ACs are your friend.
Yes.
And when they don't work or they don't work efficiently, it sucks here in Texas.
Absolutely. And think about it like in your house, people, there's a lot of AC companies out there that offer that as a service. If you haven't used your air conditioner throughout the winter, before you go and fire it up, just do kind of a once over and make sure everything works, make sure it's clean, make sure it's ready to rock and roll before you start trying to run it through its paces and really push its limits if you haven't been cleaning it.
Absolutely. What's next?
Water.
Water. Okay.
So,
have you ever smelled anything worse than a water heater that has held water for an entire winter season and not been drained?
yeah, there's some things that smell worse, but they're still pretty bad.
I don't know. It's
Wait.
pretty awful.
What do I do with my water heater?
Bypass it, flush it out, drain it.
Tell me about
All
that,
the
Matt.
things.
And also, do you have a pen?
I do have a pen. You need to write some things down, take some notes.
No. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later. Oh, wait, no.
You know people, Lindsay.
I can
so
just
you're
Yeah.
good.
listen
You know
to
what
this
people-
later on Spotify.
Yeah.
There
Just
you
go
go.
through, check it off. Yep. The big thing is if you hadn't been using it, obviously that water, any water, doesn't matter where it's at, can start building bacteria and grow mold or anything. And it just starts getting really bad when it's in a sealed container. Think about just coming into your car and opening up like a water bottle or your Stanley cups or whatever it is after sitting for a little while. Now,
Like 2 or 3 months?
Exactly. Now just exaggerate that out more and it's even worse. And then now we have to run into the issue of like sanitizing the freshwater system to kind of get all that crud out of there before you start using it to shower in, using it to cook with, whatever. But if you'd had it up for winter and you'd winterized it, then that would be your time to kind of go through and flush out the antifreeze, de-winterize everything. Preferably before you put it away for winter, you would have either winterized it or drained everything out of it. But it's still a good time to check before you get out to a campsite and hook water to it and find out you have a leak somewhere. Because the worst thing that'll be the worst thing for the trip is hooking up and then having water pouring out everywhere because you didn't check it before you left. The big thing is what we run into a lot of is I'm leaving tomorrow and I hooked up my RV tonight and it's broken and it's leaking everywhere. What do I do? We're kind of stuck. So
Very tough for us to do drive-bys on things like that. I mean, most RV dealerships, it's going to take you, on a good day, a few weeks to get an appointment, and on a bad day, a few months. So good to put some water in it. I mean, if you've drained it, you're 3 steps ahead.
correct.
If you left it drained for the winter, just close it up, put some water in it, be sure your seals are good.
100%. And
Okay.
it's if one thing fails, if you have one crack or one broken line or a fixture, it's very likely there's going to be other things. And now as we fix one, you may be having to find another one and fix that. And you may find another one and fix that.
Because you can't tell where everything's leaking sometimes.
Correct.
You know, the thing that a lot of people forget is that just throw away if you have what is the most popular, which is those portable water filters, just throw it away and get another one.
Yeah.
They're only good for one season. And I know they have a number of gallons in it, but people say, well, I've only been camping twice. But if it's been damp in there for 6 months, then that water filter is not going to be effective. So if it's a new season, get a new water filter. They're cheap. It's going to really keep your tanks cleaner, and you're going to appreciate it.
100%.
All right. So I think one of the things that a lot of people forget about is this trailer has sit there through the winter, and a lot of the seals and the pieces have frozen up, maybe dried up. If you live in cold weather and it's in the weather, you might have snow. It's a really good time to just lube everything up and make sure it's all working well.
Sure.
So I think the best place to start that people forget is your breakaway cable shouldn't be frozen in place.
Shouldn't be stuck.
It shouldn't be. Some people are scared to death to just pull that out, but it is a good thing to pull it out. Just put a little on it. I've seen people use silicone or 3-in-1 oil because it doesn't collect any dirt, and just be sure that plunger goes right back in. If it's frozen in place, or the wire string is getting frayed or broken, it's not going to work. And chances are you won't ever need it. But if you do, you're going to be really glad you have it
100%.
because it stops your trailer if for some reason it disconnects from flying into you or flying into traffic. Both things are not good. So pull that plunger out and make sure it's working well.
Correct.
Yeah.
And just while you have all the lubricant stuff out, just run through anything on the outside of the trailer that moves. You know, your stabilizing jacks, your tongue jack, your coupler, your door hinges,
The coupler
else.
latch, the hinges on windows, not acrylic windows,
Yeah, not acrylic.
but the glass windows if you have hinged windows, the hinges on your door, the hinges on your compartment doors.
If you have sliding windows, some of those have that track inside there that can be cleaned out and lubricated as well. You don't want to go spraying WD-40 in those because it just attracts all the dirt. Everything gets stuck to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't use WD on any of this.
No.
What would you use?
We use like typically a PTFE type lubricant, something that's
Okay, what's that? It's a PTFE.
It's
it's a lubricant,
not a cuss word.
not a cuss word. Write that down. That'll be the next cuss word.
PTFD. What the heck?
So it's more of like a Teflon. It'll leave a film and not be tacky, basically.
So what does it say? Do I just go shopping for PTFD?
PTFE.
PTFE. Excuse me.
PTFD.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
PTFD is
wrong.
different.
Oh man, that's embarrassing.
That one will get you in trouble. But no, you can get a lot of Teflon or silicone. It'll say on the bottle somewhere like leaves no residue, something like that. So that's the biggest thing is we just want
Thought
something
you said
that's
it had a coating,
It is.
but leaves no residue?
Correct. It's magic.
Okay, I will look for the one that says
Yeah, puts a
magic.
Magic.
But a silicone spray of some kind would
Correct.
work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But that's something that, people don't think about it, but like your windows are sliding against this glass, sliding against a piece of plastic. So that can get kind of gummed up sometimes as well. Stabilizing jacks are the big thing. You want to be cleaning those and lubricating those because even if you're not using them very much, if you had driven through the salt, snow, whatever it may have been, all that's getting just blasted up underneath the trailer the whole time. So run them down, extend them, kind of run them through their paces, just kind of go through everything that moves on the trailer and make sure it moves, make sure it's not stuck. And
Okay.
go ahead and clean it and lubricate it.
What about slide lube? Because I know we sell that in our parts department.
Correct. Now, depending on the type of slide system you have, that would be acceptable to use. If
Do you use it just on the rubber pieces around your slide?
so that would be just like a slide seal conditioner. It goes on kind of like your tire shine would go on, and then you can wipe it through the seals. If you have rails underneath the slide rim that move, then that you can use lubricant on. If you have aluminum tracks on the side walls of the slide, that's called a Schwintek slide. We don't want to lubricate that. You want to just make sure it stays as clean and free of debris as possible.
Okay, so maybe you put your slide rim out and just blow compressed air maybe on the tracks on the side, but you can lube the ones underneath.
Correct.
But again, no WD.
No WD.
Yeah.
Not at all. Now, if you don't have access to like an air compressor for cleaning out that Schwintek slide, a can of duster works perfectly fine, and you can just spray through it, and it makes it easy enough to.
Just that compressed air to clean a keyboard or anything else.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we got all that lubed, cleaned up, ready to go. What's next?
We're clean. We're lubed. Go. I didn't cuss. What's next?
I would do kind of like a once over with your things that do have expiration dates. There's a lot of stuff in RVs that people probably don't think about as having expiration dates. Propane tanks have recertification dates on them, which is generally every 11 years that they have to go. So there's a DOT number on the collar that'll tell you, and it'll tell you normally on the collar how long that tank is good for before it needs to be recertified. Propane detectors have an expiration date as well. They'll have, each one of those is kind of specific depending on the manufacturer of the detectors. So smoke detector, LP detector, carbon monoxide detectors, just take them out, look at them on the back. There will be a date, and it'll say discard by 5 or 7 years or whatever it is.
It's generally between 5 and 7 years.
Correct.
Somewhere in there.
Yep.
I think LP carbon monoxide detectors, because a lot of times they're together now, I think they're 5 years, aren't they?
Some of them. There's still a few that may say 7 years on them.
Okay.
But again, it just depends on the manufacturer and what style it is too, because they may, like Safety Alert may have one brand that's the small one and it's good for 5, but then the big honking one may be good for 7.
Okay. So you just have to look.
Correct.
So if your trailer's 7 years old, just replace them.
Yeah. Why not?
Just replace them. Is that something they can do at home? That's not a hard thing to do, right?
Absolutely. Smoke detectors and ceiling mounted carbon monoxide detectors are just like what you would have in your house. They just run off of a 9-volt battery. So if they are still good, it'd be a good opportunity to go ahead and check that the battery works, make sure that it's still functioning, because you haven't been in the RV over the winter to hear it beeping the whole time.
Yeah.
So you have no clue. The LP detectors, if they're hardwired in, it's 2 wires for power, and they're pretty
Even
simple.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do 2 wires.
Yeah, they're pretty straightforward. Fire extinguisher as well. Check that. Make sure it actually has pressure in it. That it's
How do you do that?
functional. Depending on which ones they are, most of them, a lot of them you'll see in RVs have like a little green button on the top that you push down. If you push it down and it stays down, that fire extinguisher is bad. If they push the green down and it pops back up, then you're good to go. Or the other ones may have a little gauge on them if they're kind of the bigger metal ones.
And the gauge on them has a kind of a red and a green, red, yellow, green, maybe, I think.
Yeah, it's either
Can't
red
remember.
and green, red and yellow, but the needle will tell you if it's in a different color. There's wording on it that'll say,
This is good or
Yeah.
this is not good. Replace me.
correct.
All right. All right.
And then one thing I learned, because of what you said, your wheel chocks have a replace by date on them. So sad.
Very often they do. It's on the side. Lindsay.
Because the plastic breaks down, I'm guessing.
That's what we're assuming. I mean, I haven't dug into it too far, but it does say on the side.
Replace after November of 2028.
Yep.
Yes.
I know how to read these now.
There you go.
I
So
spent a lot of time in porta potties.
what? What? I don't know
They
what to
have
say.
these on the back of the door when you go in the porta potty, and every time I've gone into a porta potty, I stared
How long
at
are
it.
you in the porta potty?
Not that I'm in there for a
You're
long
reading
time,
everything?
but I do, an RV show. It's my main bathroom. And I saw these and I didn't understand, so I looked it up and now I know how to read them. And I'm really proud of myself. And so every time now that I go into a porta potty for a short period of time, I can tell you.
Are you calling the people and being like, hey, man, it's out of date?
They've all been in compliance so far. So, but I'm keeping my eye on them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let it slip through.
Well, we've learned 2 things then. We have learned that
Porta
wheel
potties.
chocks and porta potties have Replace by dates.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. All right. You never know what you're going to learn on the RV Small Talk podcast.
No, not at all.
All right. So, what else?
Tires are always a good time to check those. Check the age, check the condition of the tire, check the tire pressures. While you're there, check your lug nut torque, make sure that they're tight before you're ready to go off on the next trip.
Real quickly, how do you check the age on a tire?
So there'll be what's called a DOT number on the sidewall of the tire. And you can look it up if you're a visual person, but there's normally two numbers for the week of the year and then two numbers for the last two digits of the year that they were manufactured.
Really?
Yes.
So if it says 3224, then it's the 32nd week of 2024 that the tire was manufactured.
And, you know, I hear different numbers all the time, even from people in our building. So, how long do you have to wait to replace a tire?
Most you're going to get out of them is about 7 years. That's the best case scenario. 5 years, 5 to 7 years is generally when you're going to want to start replacing them.
Okay, well, I'm not keeping a tire for 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, that's too long for me because I have seen so many trailers just ripped up by flat tires.
Yeah, I need new tires on mine.
And when you get to be about 4 years, because it is unreasonable to expect the tire that is on your trailer when you buy it is brand new off the press.
Correct.
They just don't work that way. That tire is probably at least a year old, maybe more.
Are cars the same way? I mean, because
Cars are the same way.
They make the tire, and then they have to send the tire to make the car.
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
mean
you
that
buy the
makes
tires
sense.
in bulk, and they're sitting around for however long they're sitting around for. So some are
Yeah.
closer to the manufacturer dates, and some are a little further apart. It just happens.
But what you do know is that after you've had it for 3 or 4 years, it's probably a little older than that. And you may not be able to see any signs of it aging, but they've got to be there at that point.
I mean, honestly, better safe than sorry. Like they're
Yes.
tires.
You're going to save yourself, you may
Yeah.
spend some money on the tires, but you're going to save yourself a lot of headache and potential damage otherwise. Because when a tire goes out on a trailer, it's not like on your car where it just goes flat. It's like a bomb going off.
Yeah.
So it can do a lot of damage to the trailer itself.
I know we've done 1, maybe 2 podcasts specifically about tires, but
Yes.
when you're looking at your tire and trying to figure out, if it's old or if it's good or if something's happened to it, sometimes people are trained to look for the tread and the PSI, and they say it's good, and even the date. But what are some of the quote unquote invisible or other things you should look for in a tire? Because even if you haven't traveled that long on it or haven't used it that much, bubbles for one thing.
Absolutely.
It's something that like maybe people aren't really looking for, but a bubble is just as big of a problem as a crack.
Correct.
So how else can you look at a tire and not just say, tread looks good, I'm good?
Kick it.
Because
That's
I mean, to be honest, that's how I knew how to check a tire, right? I don't know all the other things that can happen to it.
Yeah. So, good point. 100% bubbles are something that are pretty common that you won't really notice in a tire unless you're looking for it, because it's not like you're riding in the trailer. So you're not going to feel it driving down the road boom, 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 like you would in your car. But if you just look at the tread, where the tread is at around the perimeter of the tire and just kind of look across it, you'd be able to see. And by bubble, it would be something that would be pretty pronounced normally. And even on the sidewall of the tire, kind of look at it straight up and down and see if you see any bulges or anything like that. That's kind of the easiest way. And then obviously the cracks, any cracks that you're seeing in the sidewall, in between the tread, just looking at it and seeing if you see any separation anywhere too. And then if it's been sitting in storage for a while, move the trailer and check it too, because now you can't see that bottom section either.
Right.
And
right.
do a good job to kind of look and see if there's anything stuck in the tire, if you had like a nail or a screw or something that you may have picked up that, again, you won't notice because you're not driving.
Moving it.
Yeah, you're not moving it. It's been sitting there. It may still hold air now, but as you drive down the road, that may start developing a leak. And once that leak starts forming, the temperature gets too hot. Now it's really hot inside that tire, and then that's when they pop.
Well, if you don't have a torque wrench, how can you tell whether you have torqued it correctly?
You can't.
You can't. Okay, well, there's that. So you
at
stop
least
by Discount Tire and say, hey, can you check my tires?
Yeah. So if you don't have a torque wrench, I mean, it's pretty. You
Get one.
Get a torque wrench. It's pretty inexpensive. They don't have. It's not like you're using it every day as a professional, so it doesn't have to be some crazy digital $500. You can spend $40-$50 on a torque wrench and be pretty close. If you don't, then a tire iron or something of similar ways that you would use on your vehicle. But just remember that you can't know exactly what it's at, so you still want to at least try to get it checked if you don't have one.
Okay. We didn't talk about all the maintenance things that you should do. So I just want to be really clear. Things like repacking your bearings. I mean, there's a lot of maintenance things we didn't talk about. But if you've kept your trailer up, this is what I would do to get started camping again.
Correct.
And then, of course, look at your annual maintenance. We've done other podcasts on that. But since it's spring, I wanted to just review, hey, these are the basics you can do to look it over, make sure your trailer's good to go, plan that camping trip, and get out and enjoy.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is just go through the whole RV. Like run through everything in there, fire everything off, check that your water heater still works, your refrigerator still works, your furnace, even if you may not be using it, but you may have some cold nights that you want to be able to run it. Just do a quick once over, run through the whole thing before you find out in the middle of camping that something doesn't work. That'll ruin a camping trip real fast.
Yep. And then make your reservations because, guys, it's spring.
It's time.
And those campgrounds fill up. So hopefully we got you excited about camping. And if you just do these basic things, you should be in good shape.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think we covered it.
That's all I got.
That was a nice little spring podcast for you guys. You can always check us out at rvsmalltalk.com. We're also on Facebook. What else does Clint usually say at the end?
I don't know. We're everywhere that you look. And also, we have our rallies coming up in May.
We do.
So if you need some camping reservations, we have.
Yeah. We got you covered. May 1st through 4th is the Texas Tiny Trailer Rally. It's in Ingram, Texas. So, we call it the Texas Tiny Trailer Rally because it sounds really cool, but anybody can come. We're not really, we don't care how big your trailer is, what kind of trailer it is, or where you got your trailer. Just come join us. It's free. You just pay for your campsite. So that's May 1st through 4th. And then the following weekend, which is May 8th through 11th. Yeah. May 8th through 11th is the Truck Camper Rally.
One, can I come if I have a trailer?
Yeah, we have trailers come to that one all the time. We also, if you are looking for a truck camper, but you can't figure out which kind you want, or even if a truck camper is the way you want to go, we always have people stop by. It's a great way to see all these models of truck campers and talk to owners about truck camping. So that one is May 8th through 11th. Again in Ingram, and the signups for both of those and more information is at princesscraft.com. You just have to go to the About tab at the top and then choose the rally. We would also like to thank MDC for sponsoring this podcast. We carry the whole line of MDC trailers here at Princess Craft, and we love it because I'm done. I don't do sponsors. Go, PJ.
Because they are one of the greatest off-road trailers out there. Gorgeous on the inside, tough on the outside. If you have not seen an MDC trailer, you should check it out because they're pretty spectacular.
I mean, that's the perfect way to describe it. Thank you, PJ. I was stumbling over my words because they're just so beautiful and there's so much to say about them.
There is, but, this is a podcast. We've already talked a lot, so let's sign off and we will see you next time on the RV Small Talk podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.